Alright, good morning everybody. It's Tuesday, day after Memorial Day, and as you can see, the hood is open, which means it's pre-trip time. Now, I'm not going to put my hat cam on and do a full pre-trip for you guys, because no sooner I do that and somebody's going to either walk down here or come in the yard, because right now the mechanics are gone and most of the trucks are out, so I'm kind of here by myself, so I can do an outdoor shot for you. We've got all Hazletons today. We've got 4 Hazleton waters, 1 out of Tamaqua, 3 out of Hazleton, and then we've, of course, got the van shuttle. Got to figure out when to do the van shuttle. It's got to deliver down there or pick up down in Vogelsville at 5 p.m. So you got to figure out if I can do all 3 of those Hazleton waters or if I can only do 2 and then have to do one after I do the van. So, but anyway. Going to be kind of a muted sunshine today. It's getting cloudy because, again, this week we're going to be in that same old pattern. Going to be raining and showery pretty much the rest of the week. So yesterday was gorgeous. If I would have worked yesterday, it was a perfect Chamber of Commerce day, but we're heading back into a sloppy, rainy pattern for a few days. Hopefully next week I hear it's going to break and we're finally going to switch the pattern out to a summer-like pattern. So. But anyway, we're going to finish pre-tripping this truck and then we're going to get going and haul us some water. Alright, so we're rolling. Got fuel this morning because we were down close to a half tank, so I figured I'd just fuel it pre-shift and then I don't have to worry about it the rest of the night. But we already have a change of plans. We were supposed to get our first load out of the Tamaqua well and take that up to Hazleton and then grab the rest of them out of Hazleton until we had to go do the van. I got a phone call from one of our drivers that the well had slowed down. I guess well, not I guess, I know. When you put too many trucks in there too quickly, it can't keep up, and then the rate falls to 100 gallon a minute and even less than that, and what should be a 20-minute load turns into a 45-minute plus load. So the driver told me and warned me about it, so then of course I called the office and asked if I could go do the Hazletons first, give that well some time to recover, and of course it was a yes, but I don't like to just take things upon myself and do them without asking, so made sure it was cool to go up there, because sometimes there's reasons why we're scheduled to do things in a certain sequence, and you know, we're not kind of privy to that information. We just get our load assignment, so you gotta make sure that what you're doing is okay to do. So we're gonna grab our first 2 or maybe even 3 out of the Hazleton location. We might be able to pick off all 3 of them before we have to grab that van and go down to Vogelsville. If not, then we'll do 2 out of there, grab the van, do what we need to do with the van, come back, do another one out of Hazleton, or drop down here and get one, and vice versa, and so forth and so on. It's try and get our 3 in 1 the way we were assigned, just in a different order. So that's how it's playing out already. I don't know the reason why there were so many trucks in there. I know dispatch tries to keep it to a minimum, because the Red Barn location can handle truck volume where the Tamaqua location cannot. So they try to keep the truck movements out of Tamaqua to a minimum, but something happened, I guess. I don't know. Alright, so we're here loading the first one up, and I just saw one of the other trucks heading out the road, so he's not too far ahead of me, and he's going over to the Hazleton plant too, and I saw they ran a lot of loads over there, so let's hope I don't run into what I ran into on Thursday. I think it was Thursday or Wednesday, I don't know what day it was, but halfway through my last one of my loads, the silos ended up full and shut everything down, so I had to dump the rest of it because I was only about halfway done. You don't pull a half-loaded trailer, it'll be all over the place with all the slosh and surge and everything else, so hopefully that don't happen again, but it looked like a lot of loads were run over there, so hopefully they didn't fill them up to where I run into a problem. But we're loading up here. This one's the fast one, so it won't take long to finish up and get going and get out of here, so we'll talk to you along the way or over there while we're unloading. Alright, loaded and rolling, as I always say. Hopefully by the time we get over there, that dude's almost done, because I don't know which pump he's going to take, if he's going to take 1 or 3. If he takes 1, I might have an okay time doing the flip with this non-turning truck. But if he's in pump 3, then I'm going to have a hard time flipping the U-turn there to back on. I may have to blindside back in there. But I asked the mechanics to see if they can adjust the steering stops on here and give this a little bit tighter of a turning radius. They said they'd look at it and see if they could. Don't know when they're going to get to it, but at least they said they'd try. So, but as you can see, it's finally summer green up here in Hazleton. This is one of the last places in the state to green up in the spring. While everybody else is pretty much in full spring mode, heading towards summer mode. Sometimes this place is still dead winter dead, but everything greened up. You see the grass is growing and high, and all the trees have leaves on them. So finally, spring/summer even got to this area. Now, if only we could get the summer temperatures to go with the season. It's not quite summer yet. It's still the end of May, but by this time of year, we should be getting close to 80 every single day, and we're barely hitting the 70s. Today's not too bad, but in quite a few days, even in the low 50s and upper 40s. So, having a hard time getting going here. But like I said, next week they're talking about the pattern changing, and this pesky upper level low and trough that we've been dealing with for the past month is finally gonna scoot on out, and we'll get into more of a summertime type pattern. So that would be most welcome, because I hate the drearies. All right, so we're here now. Let's see what we got. See if that dude's here unloading or if he was at a different plant. I don't see him here, so either he's done or he went somewhere different. But on the sign-in sheet, the load sheet, it said Hazleton, so unless they've got somewhere else that they go, because he's not here. Now we should be able to do the flip. A little tight with his non-turning radius truck, but we should be able to do the flip, and we'll let this guy that's coming at us come out before we cut him off and try to go in there. Oh, they painted the lines, so we're going to be able to at least see where we're backing up when it rains. It's not so bad in the daytime and when it's dry, but when it's raining and it's nighttime, we couldn't see where the lines were to line up to the pumps. I see they painted them. Now let's just hope they're not wet. Let's hope they did it a couple days ago. Oh, dude, you really didn't just do that. You really didn't just do that. Dude, I should say girl. I cannot believe she just parked right there like that. That is going to make life a little bit difficult for us. Now let's see what we do. Not what you can't handle. We've been in tighter, but I can't believe she just stopped there like that. Should have my other cameras out, but I don't. But we'll see what we can do here. Now I just got to start cutting it. Straighten it out a little bit before I cut it. She had to get some food out of her car, I guess. Oh, we're not quite centered in the lane, so we're gonna have to pull up a little bit, but like I said, we were able to do it, but she just made it a little more difficult than it needed to be. Now let's hope she don't throw it in reverse by accident and back into me. You never know anymore. We're in. Alright, so we're here, we're unloading, and so far there's room for our load. Let's hope there's enough to take the entire load. That guy was here, the ground is wet, so that means he was here delivering. Probably got out of here just before we had gotten here. I didn't see him on the way coming in, but you would definitely hear it. The sun would have dried off the ground, but we're unloading. Take about 20 minutes, and then we'll be heading back over there to get the second one. We'll try to talk to you a little bit more. All right, back here loading up the second one, and me and another driver must be passing like 2 ships in a night. We must be rolling back and forth, passing each other on 81, because I'm not seeing him anywhere. I didn't see him going up there. I didn't see him coming back, but he was here with and grabbed another load in between my loads, so moving along pretty good and keeping out of each other's way. But like I said, I didn't see him on either way, going over to the plant or coming back, so that's all good. I got one more to do, and then I got the van to do, I think. I'm not sure how I want to do it, because I got to have the empty van down there around 5 p.m. So I got to figure out if I want to try and run one more over here or not. I'm not sure if those are, like I said, hard appointments or if they're roundabout appointments. But at any rate, I've got to be the one to figure out which way it goes, whether I can get that third water load out of here over there and then get the van, or whether I just go get the van and lollygag a little bit and get down there around 4:30 and see if it's ready early. So not sure which way I want to go yet, and I guess I'll figure that out here in a little while. All right, talk to you later. All right, so we're coming out here fixing to get on 81 South. We got to go one exit to 924, get off to go back to the plant. And I think I've already made up my mind what I want to do. I'm going to grab the van and go down, because it's 2:15 right now. And until I get to the plant, it'll be almost 2:30. Till I back in and hook up and enter all the computer information in and then unhook, it's going to be almost 3 o'clock. And then beyond that, and the DOT inspecting somebody there. So it's going to take about a half hour there, and then we got to drop the tank and then loop around, check in at the check-in kiosk, let them know we're there for the empty van. And that's going to put me down to Fogelsville if I do all that in a decent amount of time, probably right around 4:30, which will put us a half hour early, and by then the load should be ready to go. If it's not, then that's on me, but that's pretty close to 5 o'clock, and I would think that the load would be loaded and ready for me to grab it, so we will see what happens. But that's pretty much the game plan now. So we'll do 2 water loads, then we'll grab the van, go down there and do the shuttle, and then we'll come back up and do the other 1 to 2 water loads depending on how things play out. We should be able to get both of them in. I don't know if I'm going to get them all out of Hazleton or if I'm going to get that one out of Tamaqua later on that we were supposed to get first. I'll call our other driver that's out. He's loading out of there, so I'll ask him how it's running. If it improved and it's loading at a good rate, then I'll certainly go grab one out of there tonight. Yeah, we're definitely going to get the van now. Look at this traffic coming out of this. Well, there is another way I could go to get out of here and avoid this traffic. They got one lane there on the bridge because they're replacing metal guardrails, and so it's got everything backed up here. You can see it's backed up past the little TA truck stop up here because it's single lanes right before you get to the freeway interchange. There is a sneaky back way I can use to get out of here that will definitely save some time if it still is like this once we're done with the water. Man, look at that. Alright, so I gave you a little glimpse of what we do to hook up to get unloaded here. I didn't put the hat cam on. I'm not going to wear the hat today, I don't think. We'll do that another day, but this plant is pretty modern. We only built like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, so pretty much state of the art as far as unloading procedures go. Even a nice setup. The hose sits in the trough. It's right at truck height. Swing it right out and hook it up. A lot better than the other plant where you have to lift it up to hook it up. And well, that place has been around for probably like 20 years. This place, like I said, only been around 2-3 years. So definitely a far better way to unload up here. I don't know how it is in the winter, if they freeze up just as bad or worse than down there, but on a whole, this is a nice setup to unload the truck. So we're unloading as we speak, and like I said, we're going to grab the van and take that down there and then do the last 2 loads after we get done with the van. So right now we're just eating a little snack. I like a Slim Jim for some meat protein during the day. So we're going to do that and then wait for this to finish up, slide it one to the right, drop it, and then go get our van. Alright, so we're going to check in here and see if we can find out where our empty van is. We have to check in regardless, but hopefully they'll tell us where the empty van is and it'll be in the right place.
Please wait while we connect you with an agent.
Yeah, can I help you?
Yes, I'm here, Bobtail, to pick up our empty van trailer to go down to Allentown for the shuttle load.
Do you know the trailer number, sir?
It's going to be one of 6242 or 6243.
6242
or 43.
Yep, I got it on yard 108.
Yard 108. Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too, thanks. Well, they said it's in yard 108. Let's see if that's exactly where it's at. In this business, they're not always where they say they're going to be. Where is 108? No, it's telling me it's in the... That's telling me it's in a dock. Yikes, that's not good. We're going to cruise along down this row here and see what we got. Empty drop trailer row here along the fence. See if I see it over here, because that's where they usually drop when they're empty. They don't usually leave them in the dock unless they just emptied it out and the yard jockey hasn't pulled it out yet. And we'll just take a slow ride down here and see if we can see our trailer. It'd be nice if we had a logo on them, but the only thing we got on them is the trailer number. But having it in 108 tells me that it might not be empty yet. We shall see. I haven't seen it yet. We're only at 55 on the left side in the docks. But I haven't seen it over here on the right side. I might be able to tell if it's... Oh, there it is. There it is. It's in 208. He was only off by 100 numbers. Oh, that's all right. Hey, at least it was the 08. It just wasn't 108, it was 208. because there's 118 dock doors, so that's why I thought it would have been in a dock, but all right, we're hooked up. All right, so we are going to make a right here at Maplewood, as long as light don't turn red on us. And we are not going to, well, it just turned yellow, but we're taking it. We're not going to sit in all that traffic that I showed you that was heading out to the freeway. It's all because they're working on those guardrails, and they have one lane shut down before you get to the freeway, and that has everything tied up because it is in the 3 o'clock time frame, 3:30 time frame. A lot of these places are getting out of work on their first shifts, and it ties up that freeway. Now, they built this new road out here, and it alleviated a lot of traffic. So on a normal day, you don't have that kind of traffic, but with the lane shut down, now you do again. So what we got to do is we've got to go up this way, and then we're going to hook a left at, I think it's White Oak or White Birch. This one's Forest. Up here on the other side of the railroad tracks is where we're going to turn left. And you'll see where it brings us out at. There's going to be a long segment here. So I'm going to have to be a little bit long-winded, but this will bring us out to 81. Like I said, they built a 424 extension at Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce Beltway. They built an extension and hooked it up with Interstate 81 to give this industrial park a second way out. Now, we don't have a stop sign here because of these railroad tracks. And hopefully everybody knows that. It looks like they do. And this will turn right into 424. This used to dead end. Right where it widens out, this used to dead end. This wasn't a through road. But the industrial park grew, the railroad grew. They've got their own operations up here. Usually there's a bunch of engines parked over there to the left, but they're not here today, which I was kind of hoping they were, but they're not. So this will bypass all that traffic, because who knows how many lights we would sit through there from that TA truck stop to the Turkey Hill and then to the light to get onto the freeway. So this will keep us rolling. I think a dead end right back there. This is all new road here. This just isn't 4-lane here yet. Once you get up here to the traffic light, then it becomes 4-lane. But this is all new road. This wasn't here. But there was so much traffic on 924 at shift change. You know, Amazon was a big part of that. That it backed up even worse than what you saw today. So they extended this 424 into the industrial park and gave everybody an alternative in and out. No doubt this is going to be faster than sitting in that traffic where 2 lanes are trying to merge into one, and you got the lights and you got the extra traffic. So this is the better way to go right now. You actually see that maybe you can, maybe you can't. In the winter time, when there's no tree there, you can see the freeway ahead of us, see the trucks up there on Interstate 81. So this comes up here, does kind of like an S turn, and then it puts you right at the freeway. So it's pretty nice that this is here now. I mean, you don't sit in all that traffic like you used to. In fact, I think this opened up when I was out in Arizona. They were working on it before I left, but I don't think it officially opened up until I was out in Arizona, because by the time I got back, it was open. So it does wind around a little bit, but it is way better than sitting in traffic. we are at the freeway. Easy peasy. Well, now all we gotta do is deal with Tamaqua. It's 3:29, and it may or may not be bad. I think the school's let out half day, so maybe traffic won't be bad in Tamaqua going down. We'll see. But for now, we's a rolling, and I see Schneider broke down up here, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to shoot over into that left lane because I got traffic coming at me. Alright, we will talk to you further on down the road or down at the plant. Alright, so the empty one is dropped, and I bobtailed down here to where the pumps are so that I can use the restroom. There's a restroom down here by our offloading station, and it's out of order. They just renovated it and opened it back up 2 months ago. It's real nice inside, and I don't know what happened. Something must have happened with the plumbing, but it's there's a sign on the door that says out of order, so can't use it. So I'm gonna have to find somewhere else, I guess. But we're gonna go back over and hook up to the loaded one and get out of here and talk to you on the way back up. All right, we are hooked and we are ready to leave. We gotta go to the back gate and check out, get our paperwork, and then roll back up to Hazleton. Walking around this trailer, I noticed that somebody had backed into it and scraped up the lower aluminum rail. Actually ripped it up a little bit, that there's some sharp metal pieces, jagged pieces sticking out, so I gotta see if I can hammer those back. Probably when I go up there and drop it. I just want to get out of here because I stick out so far that anybody that was in the other dock would have a hard time getting out. So I just want to get out of here and get up there, and then when I drop it up there, and I can take my hammer and maybe hammer some of those back. But we're on our way out. Looks like we're gonna take the left side. Somebody's there on the right side. But we have to check out here, unlike when we leave with the water tankers. And go in there and enter some numbers, our seal number, our pickup number, and digitally sign the paperwork, and then we go out on our way. So we'll talk to you in a little bit once we get rolling. You know the routine. We're loaded and rolling. Now I just gotta figure out before I get to that T intersection, do I want to make a right turn or do I want to make a left turn? Left turns can be faster, right turns can be easier. All depends on the time of day and what the traffic is like. This isn't a mistake. The four-wheeler got out of there pretty good, so maybe we will too. It's 5:06 p.m., so that's the thing. I don't know how now. We got a Cowan truck coming in here to make a left here. Let's see if he goes. I would hope that he goes. Is he letting me go, or is he gonna go? Come on, just go. Do your thing, Mr. Cowan. Oh, he's got some coming the other way. That's what he's waiting on. I didn't know. Sometimes they'll hold back and let us come out. So you never know. Now Aqueduct's coming. This might not have been the greatest of ideas, because now we got an Aqueduct coming. And looks like a bunch of there's one four-wheeler coming. Let's see what we got here. Pickup truck coming from the left. Now I got a Jeep coming from the right. And I should be able to go. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. A little bit of a wait, but not too much. Thing is if I would have went out the other way, like I said, it might have been easier, but I gotta answer that. So that was one of our other drivers calling. He wanted to give me a status report on the Tamaqua well. It's improved a little bit, but not a whole lot. So when I get back up there, I'm gonna take my next water load out of Hazleton, and then we'll see where we go from there. I don't know if I'll have him to call anymore. He's well, no, he's got one more load to do yet, so I might still be able to get a heads up on how it's going once I get to Hazleton. So, but we're loading and rolling out of here, and we'll talk to you somewhere along the way or up there. All right, so the check-in was real quick, and we are going to drop this one in a dock door today. Last few times we were up here, we just put him in the yard, but today he's going to have me put it in door 117. And it looks like a truck might have just pulled out of that door right now, so that's where we're going to go. We're going to have to break the seal and open the doors and then back her on in there. So try to show you some of it if we can. I have a second camera up on the windshield right now, so hopefully it'll catch some of the backing maneuver. I don't know. I could move it. Maybe I'll move it. Door 117 is probably a pretty easy one. It doesn't look like there's anybody in door 118, and if I'm not mistaken, what would be 116 is a generator box. So I think it'll be fairly easy. Not that I'm not up for a challenge, but it just looks like it's gonna be easy. Oh, set up here out of the way so that we can open up our doors, and then we will get her put in there so that we can drop it and go get our tank and go get us some more water. Oh boy, there's nobody in any of these docks. Yeah, oh, it's not a generator, it's a trash compactor. All right, so there's 117. That's where we're gonna go. so far. It was easy checking in up here to get the empty. It was easy checking in down there to drop and swap and pick up the load. It was easy up here to drop the load. And so we're back under the tanker. We're going to head up to the Hazleton well and grab our third load of water for the night. And when I get back here and start delivering it, then I'm going to call that other driver and see how the well is doing over there. He's loading out of there, but he said it's only loading at like 150 gallon a minute, so it's taking him a long time. So it may not be good if I go over there. We'll mess it up for guys later on, and I'll be sitting there for a while trying to load. So we'll see what it's going to be like when I come back over here and drop this third load. And we'll take it from there. All right, we are loaded and we are ready to go. Third load of 4 in addition to the van trailer that we just did. No rain yet. Like I said, it seems to be getting darker and darker, but no rain yet. I will look at the radar when I get to the plant. And I also have to call our other driver and see how the other well is doing before I decide which one I'm going to get my last load out of tonight. Because if it's going to take me an hour to load a load over there, I'm not going to go back there. Not for my last one. And I don't know who else is going to load there, because we don't usually know what everybody else is doing unless we call them. So it could be another driver coming out on night shift that's supposed to load out of that well. And then, I mean, I know I'm supposed to take one out of there, but it still could mess it up if it's messed up in the first place. I don't know. There's something with that. It's always been that way since I've been hauling water. That particular well cannot handle a large volume of trucks. Alright, so we're unloading the third one here, and I just talked to the other driver that's loading out of the Tamaqua well, and he said it's almost back to normal. It took him 25 minutes to load his tank, so 20 minutes is normal, so about 5 minutes longer than normal, so it's recovering, and he's on his way out of there now, so it's going to have time to recover while I unload up here and then head on down there to get it. I'm gonna make my night a little bit longer going down to Tamaqua and coming back up here, but that's the way we were supposed to do it. The only thing is we were supposed to do that one first and then finish up here. But since it was running so bad in the beginning of the day, it saved time to just come up here and get it and not sit down there and wait. Well, I guess the traffic light gods were with me coming down here tonight, because I got almost every light green in Humboldt, in the industrial park, and I got almost every light green coming down here through Tamaqua. The only light I got red in Tamaqua was the major 5 Points intersection. Other than that, I got every other light green, and even this one's green. Nobody's here. So we had a nice, good run coming down here. So, now let's see if my coworker was right and the well did recover. So we're going to go back here and see what we got. Hopefully we're going to load it about 400 gallon a minute. That's all I ask for. I know 450 to 475 is what we normally do, but hopefully we can load at 400 gallon a minute and we'll get out of here right quick. Whoa, there's a deer right there in the middle of the road. Right there. Is he watching me? Oh, there's another one. Look at it, they're just gonna stand there. What's this other one on the right gonna do? Yep, there it goes. So we're running right at the target there. I said as long as we were loading at 400 gallon per minute, we'd be in good shape, and we're loading about 410, 415. It was floating back and forth, as you saw, but generally 410 to 415 is the rate that we're loading at. So it's almost back to normal, which was a good thing. So me staying out of here until the very end was probably the best way to go, or we'd have messed up the other driver and messed me up and everything else. So worked out pretty good. All right, so let's see if we get as lucky in Tamaqua with the lights as we did coming down. Like I said, we only got one red light in this whole town, and that was the main 5 Points intersection. Now let's see how we do here. Light's red at the moment. Until we get there, it might turn green because we got to slow down for these railroad tracks here. They're pretty rough. Let's see. Are we going to change? Are we going to change? Normally this is a rather short light. There we go. So this one changed. The one by Burger King changed. So we should get these two green. Unless something funky happens. Five Points light is green at the moment. Now the big $64 question is, will it hold or will I have to stop and wait for it? It held. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's see if this one holds for us. Nope. Nope, this one changed. So not quite as lucky as coming down. Not too bad though. She pushed the walk light. That's why it changed. Oh, they're gonna go first? Since when? Huh. Usually this side goes first. Well, it's not a perfect world. Alright, so here unloading the last one. We are nocturnal. I didn't think we were going to get done before dark, but we're going to get done a little bit later than I thought. I don't think we're going to park this truck till close to 11 o'clock until we get the Jeep to head home. I didn't think it would take this long, but I mean, everything went well today, other than the fact that we switched up the first and the last pickup locations, but maybe running back down to Tamaqua instead of just picking it up on the way up here added some time to it. I'm thinking it might have, but anyway, it was still better to do it the way we did it, so once we get this one unloaded, we're gonna head on back and we'll talk to you probably back at the yard. Alright, so we're back at the shop. We're done. All we gotta do is close out our paperwork, do post-trip inspection, and head inside, check our mailbox, get our envelope for tomorrow, see what we're doing, and all that good stuff. I can tell I'm tired by the end of the night because every time I do these closing segments, I gotta do 3 or 4 of them before I get it right. I usually do one and I look at it and it ain't right or it doesn't sound right, and then I delete it and start over again. So this is the 3rd time for this one, so hopefully 3rd time's the charm. But anyway, we're done, we're parked, and we're gonna head on home, so we will talk to you in the next one. Not sure if it's gonna be tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday.